Hey guys, I don't really know why I'm doing this, but people seem to, for some reason, enjoy the Photoshop video I put up yesterday. So I figured I would walk you guys through making a Leadhead outro, because this is going to be a sort of especially good one. I've only got a little bit so far, and this visual still needs to be fixed. Minor inside spoilers, if you care about that. But I'm doing this one a little bit different than I do my others, so over the course of this shot, there are multiple times where a big object goes over the screen like that, and yeah, like right there. And so that's when I'm going to be doing my cuts between the, like, let's see, this one is Leadhead. So then the next one after that will be my patron credits for the Dream Makers. Then right there, it will cut to the Generous Souls. And we'll throw in a thank you once the boy touches down and that dust kicks up. So we're just going to keep on working on this. This is just a relatively simple thing. So what's happening here is I just have the text moving, just scrolling up the screen, which gives it like a nice 3D effect. Getting some lag. And then we have a clip mask lined up with this catwalk. It's, as you can see, it still needs some work, but that gives the illusion that the catwalk is actually in front of the text, and that's going to sort of erase the text as it goes along. So we're just going to keep on fine-tuning these points to make sure that it stays where we want it. And that should be hopefully good. Let's give it a watch. If I wanted to be really anal retentive about it, I would have the text go a little bit to the right here with the camera. I might decide to do that. In fact, can I do that without it messing up my clip mask? That's going to be the ultimate thing. Because I kind of want to be lazy about this, if I'm being honest. Let's just move it a little bit that way, see how that looks.
What's inside?
Yeah, see, it's such a, like, the camera is not statically moving in one direction, but I still think that that looks alright. Let's see if it messes with the clip mask. It doesn't seem to be. Yeah, screw it. It looks okay. Looks better like that, I think, even if it isn't completely genuine with how the camera's actually behaving. So we're just going to keep on going through my keyframes here and making sure that they're accurate, because I saw some where they were not. Select these keyframes, drag them down just a little bit. It's okay if this isn't perfect because, one, it's moving, and two, with a big black object like this, if the text goes over it, you won't really notice. Like this A right here, you wouldn't notice that it's actually a little bit too far because it's covering up the surface and you can't really tell which is covering up which. So just gonna keep on. That's where we got some issues. So I'm going to stick another keyframe there where I correct that. And cool. Let's see how it looks. This one was a little bit finicky because Adobe Premiere does not like having multiple clip brushes on the same object, so it would be a huge hassle for me to have the text appearing within these sections here. Where you can see the handrails and there's the gap between them. That's just such a big effort, and it'll look fine without it, so I'm just not going to bother with that. Still had a little bit of jank there. I really want these outros to shine, so when I'm doing something like this with clip masks, I try to get it as precise as I can. You'll see in some other videos of mine, I just didn't really care that much. And in other ones, like earlier ones where I was first messing with this idea, I just wasn't very good at it. But there are plenty of sections in my older videos where well, not my older ones, in all my videos, where at some point I'll use a clip mask like this in the video itself, not in the outro. One thing that springs to mind is, I can't even remember what video it was. Oh yeah, the Of Course Games Are Art video. I showed some footage of me playing guitar. YouTube doesn't like my Pink Floyd poster with the girl butts, so I covered it up, and I wanted to put my head in front of it, so I used the similar clip mask method there. And it was just too much work, and I just decided to stop keyframing halfway through, and some guy actually commented about that. But in the outro itself, I want it to look really good. I wanted to stick with you. I'm not gonna bother with that actually. So let's see how it's looking. Okay, wait, I fucked up. As soon as we spot an error, already got some. See, I'm working with 2 like 3-hour-long clips or so, and Adobe Premiere is not liking it. My computer's been lagging like hell on this entire project, but it's okay. Just gotta keep on really fine-tuning these. Some point there it just messes up. And every time I'm moving one of these, it's creating a new keyframe, so that way I can just very easily scroll through the video and then have it edit itself, or at least get all these keyframes proper. And there's like interpolation, so like right here where there's a gap between the 2 keyframes, you can see the brush is still moving on its own, the clip brush. So yeah, it moves on its own between these 2. So that's what keyframes are all about. And right there's where it gets awkward, so we're going to want to find the next keyframe, the first one where it's just wrong. Yeah, like that. Just correct that real quick. And it looks like a couple of the keyframes here are sort of messed up in that same way, so we'll just have to fix those one by one, rather than trying to create our new ones only for the state of the mask to be overridden immediately by the next wrong one. And that's the last one, so let's see how it looks now. If I were really crazy about this, I'd have the girl and the boy over the Leadhead text, because that would make more sense given the depth that I've given with the parallax scrolling effect of the text. But that is so much work, and with that hair, I don't even know if I'd be able to do it. Okay, that looks good enough, I think, because while that's the only thing on screen now, and the final thing, and what you're about to see, there will be patron credits coming out from beneath this that will distract from very tiny errors like there. So now let's do that. To do this, let's see, I'm going to close out all these freaking tabs. I got so many from getting all these fonts and stuff. I have Adobe fonts, but it doesn't always have what you need. Okay, what was I going to do? Oh yeah, Patreon. So every week when I do a video, I have to go to my relationships manager and get all the new patrons. Make sure I have everybody. And this is something I really cannot afford to mess up. And I'm not going to show you guys the relationship manager because that shows email addresses, and obviously I don't want to leak all my patrons' info. That would suck a lot. But yeah, there's a very stressful part, because if I mess up once, I'm going to feel bad about it for a very long time. Don't want to miss anybody whose credit is due. Again, ignore this weird fucking background. It's a long story. Okay, so I last updated August 7th when I was doing the outro to my previous video, so on what you can't see on my second monitor, I'm just going to sort by patron cents, and let's start moving these in. This very first guy is named Don't Read My Name. I guess I'm going to put it in. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P, Q, R, okay. So he is a $5 patron, so he goes in the Dream Maker section. Yeah. Then we got JW, $15 a month. I probably shouldn't be reading these out loud, how much they're donating. I'll stop doing that now. But just going to keep on throwing these names in. And the reason I'm putting these in different sections is because, you know, like one is Dream Makers, one is Generous Souls, one is the $10 up patrons who I read their names at the beginning. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K. Okay. Try and get these in alphabetical order. That's another thing I don't want to mess up. This is definitely the new, most tedious part of my videos. Okay, so that goes at the top of S's and the generous soul tier. And basically, I just do this sorting by when they became a patron until I start to see names I recognize and that are already on my list. C, D, E, F, G, H, 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 H. We have no H's in the generous souls. Okay, got another dream maker. If anyone at Patreon is listening, I would absolutely love if you could give me, like, some sort of document where I can easily arrange these things by tier, by alphabetical order, donation amount, all that stuff when they became a patron. That would make this section of the process a whole lot easier than just needing to make a fucking .txt on my desktop called patron list and just update it every few days. Okay, so that is a dream maker. I really need to add a new tier for the people donating $10 or more, but I can't think of anything better than Dream Maker. Okay, so A, B, C, D, F, yeah, it was almost at the end of the alphabet. What am I doing? Because, like, I mean, you know, the people donating $10 or more, I read their names at the beginning of the video. Don't do that with anyone else, so in everything but name, it's its own tier. But again, I just can't think of a better name than Dream Maker. Like, what's a step above that? Like, Main Man? That's no good. Okay, A, B, C, D, F, G, H, I. And I'm fine with showing these names because they'll appear in the video either way, so it doesn't really matter. A, B, C, D, F, G, H, I, J, K, L. Alright, we gotta be getting through these. Open the B's. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P, Q, R. Let's see, we are at August 6th. So in theory, this guy's name should already be on the list unless he donated, like, on August 7th after I'd already done this. Or whatever, you get me. QR. I'm sure I've messed up the alphabetical order at least once before on this, but that's life. Alright, I'm pretty sure I recognize his name. Let's see. Oh, and JW, I added him to the speaking the name out tier. I did not add him to the Dream Maker credits. That could have been bad. JKLMNOPQRSTV. Wait, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P, Q, R, S, T, V, W. Okay. You'd really think I'd have this shit memorized by now. I'm 21 years old. Alright, and I was at John Strange, who is already on there, and is already on the readout, too. Okay, that did not take very long. Okay, so now let's start out with Dream Makers, starting with Tall Shade of the Color Red. I love you, buddy, but your name is so long it messes with my formatting a lot of the time, and I have to break the center of the frame with your name, because yours is by far the longest name of any of my patrons. Okay. So, I got a lot of tabs open. Ignore this Nazi shit, it's a meme. Adobe Premiere. And now, we are going to... This is going to be a little bit weird because my thinking is, like, I want this on the right side of the frame, so that, here, let me show you something. Oh wait, I also need to change when I updated this. It is the 11th, so I'll write the 10th, just to be safe. So I have this end screen template I use to check my framing, if it'll load, and I can just give this a horizontal end flip, because for this one, I want it to be on the left. So what that means is that on the right side of this, I need... I'm gonna have to do this differently than I normally do, because normally I would have, like, Generous Souls right here, and then the list would fly into that and fade out, but Generous Souls stays in the same place. I think for these credits, I'm gonna have to do it in a different way, because of the fact that the entire object is moving, and I want this clip mask to reveal that. But maybe I don't necessarily have to do that. I could just... Well, whatever. First things first, let's go ahead and just make the Generous Soul label, so that I will have that, and I can decide on how I format all of this after that. No, we're doing Dreammaker first. Let's do it all caps to match the title of the game. We'll make this nice and big. Now let me... right alignment. Big. And slap it right there. So what I was saying is, my thinking with this... I'm going to actually keep this all as one text thing. So now I need to paste the list of the patrons, align this to the right also. No, that's... text. Yes, align that to the right. I'm going to give this the Limbo font, which means turning the fill color to white. It'll stand out over the background better for 1. For 2, it'll show that even though I spend most of this video talking about inside, I did not actually forget about Limbo, I just neglected it. Let's move that Dreammaker block up a little bit further just for readability's sake on my end while I'm doing this editing. So my thinking is that... What is my thinking? This is sort of an interesting problem I don't come across with my other videos. So the interesting thing about this is this whole thing needs to move upwards, like my other in my other videos. So let me go ahead and just map out how long it has to move upwards. So we're going to wait until that metal object reaches the top of the screen right there, and we'll start out just doing the Dreammaker text, and or the patron's names text, and then we'll worry about doing the Dreammaker thing. So by this point, no, wrong text block, I'm a dumbass. Position. So by this point, all of the patrons' names have to have already gone through, because at this point, nothing will be visible anymore because this new piece of debris will be covering it. So let's just see. This is by far the longest bit, but there's a pretty good amount of Dreammakers, so I don't think it'll be too slow. It'll be nice to have an intro or an outro where it's nice and long for once, because in so many of these, I feel like I scroll through them too quickly in order to accommodate both the music and having my cards up for a good percentage of the outro, because I don't want people to skip this. But I think that this is visually compelling enough that you're not going to skip it, just because it's a really good looking game, as I was talking about yesterday in the thumbnail video. This isn't going to be like a regular thing for me, but basically the two most interesting parts of this whole process are making these outros and making my thumbnails. So I've covered both of those now. Okay, so that should work. And let me check the 3D effect here. So we've gotten a lucky coincidence where it's moving at almost the same speed as this foreground object on the right. So it just looks like it's a little bit ahead of it, because it's moving slightly faster. I think that this will look very good. While I'm here, I might as well brag on this intro. It doesn't look too great, but I think it's okay. Something unique.
So, I just finished playing through...
Pretty cool. And I'm loving this new mic so far. I did the whole blanket thing yesterday, or last night, where I sit under the fucking blanket and talk for 45 minutes, which I got hot as hell. But that's my life. First thing I do when I'm moving out is building a sound booth and figuring out how to keep one of those things cool. Maybe ice cubes or something, I have no idea. So this still leaves the question of, do I want to just move the entire text block and have the Dreammakers thing be covered up? The issue with that is that you wouldn't really get to see it with the way I've set up this debris. Except that I'm a dumbass. Okay, wait. Alright, it's good that I'm so fucking stupid. Because... yeah, okay, brain blast. Let me, reconfigure how I'm doing this real quick. So, I'll just have this spawn in here. I say spawn in because I'm a fucking gamer. Right there is the last frame where it'll be invisible. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring this my timeline to here, and rather than move everything else, I'm going to be moving this entire object. So that's both text boxes where it says Dreammaker and where it shows the list of all the patrons. Which means I can delete this keyframe. Go to the last one here. Text boxes can be finicky with this stuff, so it looks like it's going to work. Nice. And if we go to the very beginning, I'm just sort of doing some visual calculus in my head right now, so I'm just really hoping I've got this figured out properly. Well, I guess we'll see. Okay, and I'm going to go ahead and make this 25 seconds long so I can make sure that it is working properly. Gonna ignore that DM. Because the outro card, or rather the end screen, you can have it on screen for 25 seconds. So really, it's not going to be there much, but people know to look at the Patreon. People know to subscribe and watch another video if they're into if they're into what they just watched. I don't think you need the end screen for that, but I like them. I think they're neat. So I try to use them when I can, but in this situation, I'm going to break away from how I normally do things, and I just can't use it. That's okay. So what I'm worried about here? Yes. Okay, so since this catwalk is not currently intersecting with Dreammakers, that means that the way I'm doing things now, there will be some frames where all of Dreammakers is exposed. That was the visual calculus I was doing. Looks like we're good in that front. Also, I'm sorry for leaving my fans on during these videos, but I'm sure you can understand. Okay, so now back to clip masking, the worst part of my life. We're going to start out just making the rough shape. I don't think it'll be that big of an issue because this thing barely touches the clip mask. Like, yeah, there's only a few frames where that's even an issue at all. So this will be nice and easy. The next one, I'm not so sure. We'll find out about that. I really, really hate the clip mask tool. It could be a lot better. And that's fine, because no patron names are going to exceed that margin. And let me, oh whoops, did not want to do that. We'll go ahead and connect it, just so I can see better. So that needs to go sort of that way, because you can just barely see the catwalk goes this way and then goes back down. And we don't want this feathering, which would basically just give it like a fade. Okay, so make this a keyframed object. And we'll try and do this the quick and dirty way. Oh, I need to invert this also. We'll try and do this the quick and dirty way, which is to say we will just go to the very beginning, slap this corner on that corner, and just see if it works. Yeah, it never works. That's fine. So wait, what am I doing? There we go. And now that's looking more like I wanted it to. Oh, Daisy. Okay, so let's see how that looks. A little bit of jank there. Oh, God, I'm sorry about the dog. See, this is aggravating because in a lot of these frames, my nodes here are out of frame, meaning I can't select them without using a drag box unless there's some sort of secret trick I don't know about, which is very likely. But this will give something very close to what I'm going for. Let's try it out. Okay, still jank as fuck. Really, I think I'm just complicating my life with this one node. I'll delete it. Oh, I can't. I guess it's because it's been moved around so much between my other frames. See, geometrically, this makes no sense at all that Dream Makers would be on top of that, since this has the arm, or the leg jutting out of it. But that's not my problem. That's just not going to worry about that. Oh, wait, maybe it does make sense, actually. Oh, well, not that it matters. Such a minute detail. So this is where it's getting awkward. Let's just go keyframe by keyframe and correct the ones I've already made that had that mistake. I think it's so dark that people won't notice if the geometry is perfectly lined up. I think it'll look fine either way. Alright, now let's try this. Still, it's just dancing around. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to just delete some of these keyframes. Undo some of my work because it's bad work. Let's be real. Let's go back to where we started. This is what I was trying to capture earlier, that corner. Okay, so let's see. Same problem as before, no big surprise. If I could see more of the scene I'm trying to edit in this frame, I could stop this problem at the source. Maybe I still can, actually. Let me try this. We'll copy this, paste it. God. Photoshop. This program has some weird thing I've only encountered in this video where sometimes it just does not want to copy a keyframe. I have no idea what that's about. I really hope it's not a recurring theme. Yeah, so there's just an issue doing it like that. So what I need to do instead is get the first frame where I can see that bottom corner. There. Drag this up so that that aligns. Slap this there, that there. And now, if I move this here and place it there, we should have something a little bit more accurate. We're getting there. Need to just repeat that same move again, basically. So, first frame where I can see that. It's not quite the first, but it'll do. Continue to just make it more accurate, because what's going on here is there's an angle change, and that's making things awkward for the way that the interpolation between keyframes works. You can see we're getting closer again. Are we getting closer? Am I just delusional? It's perfectly possible. This is aggravating. It's like I need to grab this thing that's off frame, and I need it to be correct when it's off frame. Okay, if I'm very, very precise with how I use this, make this full screen, bring these up a tad, bring that down a tad, and move them to that corner. Okay, I think we should be in business, maybe. Let's watch it. Okay, we're getting there. And just for my own sanity's sake, as soon as that's out of the way, it just fucks right off. Moved it in an awkward way. Yeah, just get out of here. Okay. Okay, so let's take one more good look. I think that that's sufficient. It's a little bit jank though. And since I'm showing you guys this frame by frame as opposed to y'all just seeing it once after having your senses numbed by a Leadhead video, I'm still just not being too much of a perfectionist, I guess, but it's not like I have anything better to do. And hell, I'm sitting here recording it. Just bring all these up just a tad. I hate how these lines work, man. If they were dotted lines, I swear that would make this process so much easier. I've got lots of... I don't know if it's just I should be using different programs. That's probably what it is. I should be using like After Effects or something for this. I guess. I don't know After Effects. Doesn't mean I don't have my complaints. But I think that that looks good. So let's look at the whole thing now. In theory, the patron credits should be looking good now too, except for at the very end where the next object comes up and blocks them. Oh, wasn't even looking, man. I was too distracted by the Leadhead text. Okay, that's fine. And let's just watch these dream makers float by. I discovered this parallax effect when I was doing my outro for the beginner's guide video, the Stanley Parables thematic sequel. And I have just fallen in love with it since. I mean, I say I discovered. I'm sure anyone with a working brain would have thought of this, you know, months and months and months into the process. A while back, man. I'm behind the curve is what I'm saying. But you can't deny the results. It looks pretty damn good, I think. And, cool side effect, I don't actually need for this big black object to cover up Wolf HD's name because the panning speed was so close to what we're actually working with. And now here's the tricky thing. This is going to be a little bit slower, and this net here sort of makes it awkward geometrically. To do the same thing with my generous souls, the people, the second credit. Let's go ahead and copy this over. We'll just change this to generous souls, just use it as a template. God, I've made typos in my videos before, and that is a nightmare scenario of mine. And it starts with Andre Vernon. Okay. So, now we'll just slap this in there. This is going to be a lot shorter than the previous one because there isn't as much time, which sucks because obviously there's more people donating less than $5 than there are people donating more than $5. So, while there's more credits, it'll have to be faster, which is just an unfortunate effect of what I'm doing here. But I don't think it'll be so fast that it'll seem rude or disrespectful. I guess we'll take a look and see how that works now. I need to go back to when the dust pops up. That's when it's switching to thanks for watching. There's the dust. So at this point, it needs to be done. So let's see how quickly these are scrolling first. Bring this up to the very beginning of when it can start. Oh, whoops. Oh, and I need to get rid of that previous outdated clip mask since I just copy and pasted it. So, where is that mask? There we go. Let's see how fast this is going by. Oof. For a second there I was afraid it would cover up Dream Makers. This is still plenty slow, and I'm loving the 3D effect on it. Just having the two objects scrolling at different speeds never fails to look good, if you ask me. Another thing I need to look out for, which I should probably scan the whole credits for this, certain patrons have special characters in their name if they're, not English names. And as a result, sometimes fonts will just not feature that character. So let's just go through all of these and make sure. Yeah, see, what's happened with Ruben here, this font does not have E with the, the thing over it. And so Ruben's unfortunately gotten the shaft on a lot of videos, and I think he's going to have to here also. Because I just need that to be a proper E that fits with the rest of the theme. Maybe I can... Nah, I can't even make it lowercase. Alright, I believe it's ironically funny. I'm pretty sure it's just Ruben. Oh yeah, and out of respect, I'm not going to try and pronounce that name. But it just sucks that I have to do that, but I kind of have to. Unless I were to start making my own fonts, which, for a lot of reasons, I can't do that. What's going on there? Okay, weird glitch. If I were using more standard fonts, I could get away with it, but I don't. I want my videos to be more cohesive than that. And unfortunately, that's just part of the deal. I should probably write something about that on the Patreon page. But these are scrolling at a reasonable speed now. And it's looking good. I did have one concern, though, that I didn't voice earlier. And that is, if you go right here, because of how fast Generous Souls is scrolling, it never actually goes away from... It never stops intersecting with this black object. So I wonder if I can make this start a little bit earlier and get away with the object sort of obscuring it. No, not earlier. Later is what I meant. So we will make this start around here. See if we can get it to intersect. It needs to be very precise because they're moving at almost the same speed. And then that will cover it up. Okay, I think that'll be fine. Let's try it out. Gotta go ahead and save, because nothing is worse than losing a bunch of keyframing work. Now, why is there a positional... Okay, whatever, it doesn't change anything. What are these? Why are these here? What? It doesn't seem to be affecting anything negatively. I'm just going to ignore whatever the hell's going on there. One thing that's been annoying about this outro in particular is that these frames are all so freaking dark. With these not dotted lines, it's very hard to see what's going on. But this is a very simple shape, so we should be good. But I have to get my head all close to the screen. I should probably even just fuck with my monitor's brightness settings to make this more easy to see. But again, very, very simple geometric shape. I'm just gonna slap it over there, honestly. That should do. And then this will just be a simple matter of making sure it stays in sync. No funky geometry to worry about. Invert. Okay, so set this to a keyframe to 1. Mask path. If I can just give it a little bit of that 3D effect, then we're good. Which it looks like I'm going to get to. I gotta go back. The way that the mouse wheels pans through these things can be very aggravating. If you scroll it a little bit too fast, it jumps, but only sometimes. God, I cannot see what I'm doing here. Okay, so... You know, the audience can't see what I'm doing here either. Let's just see how that looks. Oh, we gotta... As soon as it's out of frame, move it. Okay, let's try this. Okay, looks like crap. I did not give the audience enough credit. Anyone would be able to see that. Yeah, see, I just changed which one I was mapping it to halfway through, so let's delete all these ladder keyframes. By which one I was mapping it to, I mean which pipe was obscuring the text. Believe it's still that one. Let me make sure I've got the right pipe. Like I said, it's very hard to see what I'm doing here. Okay, that's rough. Oh, I changed the pipes again. Sick. Oh god, this is hell. Okay. So it's this pipe. I'm gonna keep my mouse on it so I know exactly which one. See, with the way that this object is 3D, where these pipes are in relation to each other is a constantly changing thing. So I'm just gonna say that there's a pipe there, even though I really can't tell. Okay. God, my voice probably sounds weird because I'm above my microphone right now, just sitting with my face like an inch away from the screen. Okay, let's see how that looks. Probably like crap with how this is going so far, but that's the story with this keyframing shit on clip masks. Quit lagging on me. Yeah, like what's happening? How did that even happen? Which frame is so out of sync with the rest? Yeah, what was going on here? Just delete that. I don't even know how I'm making mistakes like that. Yeah, that's the evil frame. And now this is the evil frame. A little bit of jank there at the end. Yeah, you can see it move so suddenly there. And then you can see I try to get it out of Andre's face in time, or his name in time. I don't really think it matters though, he got plenty of time on screen, just the last little bit of it's cut off. I'm gonna go ahead and delete that keyframe. And really freaking squint here. Now you can leave. Okay. It's not perfect, but it's sufficient, damn it. This is such a dark scene that, again, I'm being really anal retentive, looking out for these details, because who is going to be just squinting at their screen? Their fucking LCD screen. OLED screen, I mean, in the middle of the actual video. I mean, hell, it's the credits, like, let's be real, most people do not read this. I like how it looks, though. It's, since this is not very rhythmic music, just having the credits sort of come in whenever there's a new black object in front of the frame, looks nice. And ECAT is still on the screen, why? Get out of there, ECAT. Okay, this is a little bit of an awkward part. This might change everything. Let's take a look. Just that one little adjustment might completely screw this over. I think we'll be okay. Might need a couple adjustments to the way that this is a keyframe, but... Yeah, just a little bit of change, and we'll be okay. What happened there was, I made these go slightly faster because for some reason they weren't syncing up with the boy hitting the dust. I thought that they would. Which just means... Really zoom in on these. Delete that last keyframe. And we just need... couple more where it's showing. I have no idea what I'm positioning this keyframe on right now, or this clip mask on right now, but that's how it goes with a dark scene like this, I guess. Ah, lag. It's not perfect by any means, but it creates the illusion, and that's what matters. Also, I'm sorry for the blender in the background. Ah, now we're there. So as soon as that dust appears... Beautiful. Gonna delete the rest of this. And now we just need to write, thanks for watching. Gonna do this in the Limbo font. And let me pull up the screenshot of the Limbo logo. Here, this will work. Just the picture I shared on the community earlier today. Oh, fuck. Let me throw this on my second monitor. What I'm doing right now is I'm just selecting the right shade of red by using the eyedropper tool on where it says literal and that in this picture. Thanks for... I want these right aligned, actually. The reason I'm making these separate text objects is because if I were to just do thanks for watching, once I scaled it up, it wouldn't necessarily look good. There would be too far of a space between the words vertically. Okay, so now I just gotta open up these other things. Just about done here. After this, all I have to do is read out the list of $10 plus patrons at the beginning, and give my little bit of, words at the beginning. My brain's still not in full effect. Let's try scaling this up to... No, that's 4. That's not a good basis to judge the scaling on. Now, watching is what really matters, because that's the long word, the one that runs the risk of getting in the way of my title cards, or my YouTube cards. Alrighty, I kind of like how that looks, as amateur as it is. Okay, 4... Let me just... position. Bring that scale up. What's the scale I'm watching? 291. Is that really the same size? Okay, just my mind playing tricks on me. And it is at 1849. 291, 1849. Okay. And that's thanks. 1849. 291. Bring it down a little ways. Alright. That looks about right. Now we're just going to move the whole object to make sure it's centered-ish. Okay. So, that appears as soon as the boy hits the ground. I'm gonna delete the end screen template. Okay. Maybe I should have it like, I'm gonna try something here. This is just experimental. Since the dust is coming upwards, I was thinking maybe I could have the text fade in upwards also. We'll give that a shot. Do a clip mask for the whole thing. We'll just do an over 1 for this. Give it that nice, big fade. Okay, we're gonna go ahead and create 1 keyframe there so that I don't lose it. And how long do I want this to take? Okay, that'll do. So by this point, it needs to be fully showing. Which also means making it a bit bigger so that it does fully show. Okay, let's see how that looks. Back to the beginning of that. Yeah, I like that a lot. It's a little bit artificial with the shape of the circle, so we'll just give it a little bit of that. That should do it. Still not liking it. Okay. So we will grab this frame here, further emphasize the curve. Okay, that looks a lot less artificial. Yeah, I like that a lot actually, wow. Nice. Let me just give that text a little fade out. Opacity, opacity, opacity. Okay, let's see. Looks good. So what I did there, the reason it cuts to black there, I wanted to cut to black as soon as the boy kicks back to life, so that you hear him suddenly moving the water, but you don't actually see him come back. In fact, I think I was a little bit too early with it. Right there, let's try that. Okay, maybe a little bit of the movement is good. I was kind of thinking that before. But let's just see how it looks without it. What was that audio clip? Was that just lag? Okay, yeah, I think it's better when it's synced up with the sound itself, because the sound comes a little bit after the boy starts moving. I think that looks good. You get the action of the fish moving, and you sort of notice that just as much as you notice the boy. Okay, I had it in a good spot right here when I deleted that, but didn't go all the way with it. Yeah, you get to see him do that first key pose of this animation, and then it cuts. So, I know it's already working properly, but just for the sake of y'all's enjoyment, let's watch the outro. It feels good to give such a slow credit scroll. Like I said, I really don't want to come across as disrespectful, because in some of those videos the credits scroll a little bit too fast to be readable, especially that King of the Hill one, where for authenticity's sake I rendered it in 24 frames per second. Although, just occurred to me that being a cartoon, King of the Hill probably runs at 30 frames. Oh my god, wait. Am I hallucinating? So, sometimes when text is scrolling on the screen for long enough, my vision will get weird. It'll look like things are moving down when they're not. Okay, it's just the motion of the camera. For a second there, it looked a lot like that "thanks for watching" text was moving. Wonder if that affected you guys too, if y'all saw that also. But, very happy with how that outro turned out. That's one of my favorites I've done in a while. Glad I decided to record that. So now, all that's left to do, I've only got one music track in the whole video. That's no good. We need to add in some more of those. I won't do that with y'all here because that would spoil the whole video and undermine the patrons' only early access. Then I need to give the $10 plus patron ad read at the beginning. Ad read, what am I saying? $10 patron plus read at the beginning. I was dealing with a guy who wanted to sponsor earlier, so I got ad reads on the mind. And I need to, on top of the patron $10 plus name read, I need to add in a little thing explaining that I am still learning how to use this mic, so while I do think it sounds better than the Blue Snowball that I was using up till now, soon it'll sound a lot better than the Blue Snowball. Other than that, I believe we're golden. So, thank you. Thanks for watching.